Mozambique, yeah.
I'm in love right now.
With Kung Fu Eddy, he will fight you to the death.
What's up, everybody? This is Kung Fu Eddy Baby, representing the Big Propaganda Wrestling Podcast and talking to Eddy Baby. And I'm here with the wonderful, voluptuous, gorgeous voice actor. And she's beautiful, too. We have Mela Baby. How are you doing today?
All love, brother.
All love,
what
all
an
love.
intro. I owe you some cash.
Nah, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. You know, we'll talk on the side. But one thing I really wanted to mention is your legacy as a Caribbean woman in the voice acting game, because you rarely see any representation, especially when it comes to Caribbean. And I could be wrong, because I'm from El Salvador, but I love the Caribbean side of like the whole culture with reggaeton, salsa, you know, all that music. But I want you to talk about how much of a representation you are bringing into voice acting.
Well, I'm a mixed race girl with Pacific Islander, Ethiopian, Creole, Welsh, and I think in the Caribbean there's a lot of representation too, because of how we got there and and where we've gone. The diaspora is represented, and I've really loved Respawn in their research and understanding that, as we discussed yesterday, brother,
Yes.
we, Latinx and Black and Indo-Asian, like we all come in different shades, and we get to celebrate all of them. And you know, some of us like math, science, music, like we come in all shapes and sizes, and I'm really excited about physical and cultural representation, not just in the arts, but definitely in interactive gaming, because that's where we spend a lot of our time, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, we learn that we have to squat up with people that maybe don't look like us.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
But it's a good thing.
Because again, like you had that moment in Metroid where everybody thought that the main character was a guy, but then when she took off the helmet, oh, it's a woman, and everybody was just like, what?
Right?
And it's like, yeah, any shapes and size, gender fluid, all that other good stuff. So again, like, I just want to say thank you for that. Like, because again, like, you know, even though, like, again, Caribbeans, like they say they're not Hispanic, but again, I feel like they're more of Latinos, Latinx, all that stuff. Because especially, like, you know what they say, like, oh, if they really light skin, they don't want to associate. If they're really dark skin, they don't want to associate.
No.
So it's always a good thing that you want to represent the Latino culture.
I think that's another important thing. We have different cultures and backgrounds. Not everybody has the same background, but we can live in the same place. You know, and I think that is important that especially with the internet and us connecting worldwide, that we aren't ever just one thing, you know. And I think it's really important, because sometimes it's like saying what an American looks like.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
a ridiculous sentence, right?
Of course.
Because we're from all over, and I think people get to celebrate the cultures they're from, and that looks different than what some people expect it to, right?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
you know, like we talked about it yesterday. We had some chats before you guys
We
were
had some
here.
chats. That's how I wrote down all my questions.
You know, I'm the daughter of a beautiful black man, and some people are like, well, but you know, how do we have permission to represent our culture if we don't look like what people expect that culture to look
Exactly.
like? And I thought we can't be anything that our parents are not.
Exactly.
Right? And some people are out there, and you might have gotten, you know, bonus parents, like you're adopted. And so you grow up in a culture that you may not genetically be a part of, but it is your culture. And I think it's important for
part
us
of
to
your blood.
talk about cultural diversity, and it means really we're looking for authentic
Yes.
representation, and it doesn't always look like we think it's going to look. And so I would just encourage everyone out there, you are beautifully, wonderfully, perfectly made, just as you are for your purpose. And it may not look like what people expect, but if you don't see it, that means you're supposed to be it. So there is a place for you to step into.
Message. Anyway, so speaking of representation, I mean, Respawn did, like you said, they did their research.
Yes.
And what a role that you had with Lifeline. I mean,
Good brother.
I mean, oh, that's what I wanted to hear. Anyways, so again, like you go into deep details on the opportunity because, like you said, we talked about it yesterday that you had an opportunity to voice Jade in Mortal Kombat 11, but you thought that was the bigger role. But let's talk
did.
about how big this role
I think
was.
I was cast as Jade probably about the same time, if not before, Lifeline. And I was like, oh, my life's going to change. Jade from Mortal Kombat. It was coming out in April of 2019.
Yes.
And, I mean, I loved working with the Respawn team, and we just had such a great time. And in the fall of 2018, they said, listen, we're not really going to advertise it. I think we're just going to drop the game and see if anyone likes it. Which in movie business is usually code for we're shelving your game.
Yeah.
It was nice working with you, you know. And so I enjoyed the process, but we never know what games are going to hit. So there's series that we've done and games we've done, they literally get scrapped. You can spend a year on a film or a game and then they never make it. So you start enjoying the process. You don't know what's going to happen afterwards, and you're just grateful for the job and the creativity and the team. So with the Respawn team, I just felt blessed because I learned a lot about myself as a person. They asked, so I didn't feel like I was trying to fit into someone else's mold.
Yeah.
They kind of built the character around
you.
me, and it just felt like I had permission because I used to doubt, you know, what I could and couldn't do because I felt, and I know that it's not just because I'm mixed race, because somebody could be like 100%, I'm like you're from Salvador, but what that looks like. Do you know what I mean? And
Exactly.
that could look like so many things, and so you feel like you're not quite enough of something, and I felt whole in the process, and it gave me permission to stand up and carry myself in a different way, where I felt like I had permission to exist. So that's very deep.
That's very
you know, but
deep.
there was never a, well, this is what we'd like you to do, or that it was really just felt like it was fun. We were laughing, and then in February, I got an email on February 4th in 2019. They said, hey, your game dropped. Do you mind tweeting about it? It's back when we had Twitter. It's now X, for those of you that were born yesterday.
I still call it Twitter.
And I looked at my character. I was almost in tears. She looks just like my Nana.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, because we'd seen some previous sketches. She kind of looked like Lisa Left Eye in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, and we used
TLC.
to do, we would do this joke, don't go chasing Titanfall. So it was like a running joke, but
right there.
when they finished, there was several renditions of her, but she looks like my Nana. My Nana was so excited. And then 1 million people were playing the game that day.
Yeah.
And then 10 million, and then 50 million, and all of our lives changed forever before April of 2019. So February, March, April, that was all Apex. And then Jade came out, which was lovely.
Yeah.
But it's, I guess the moral of that story is you never know where the magic is going to be. And give the universe permission to surprise you in strange and beautiful ways.
Trust me, I'm an experience of this too, because like I said, I applied for an application to do media here.
Yeah?
Gotta prove.
Congrats,
That's why
brother.
we're here.
All love.
So all it is like stack your resume so I can show that. Give me the opportunity, I'll do the rest.
Okay.
So
I got your back.
hey, but one of the things I don't know how much of the skins that you've seen from Lifeline, but which one is your personal favorite skin?
Well, they haven't made it into a skin, but obviously, if from my lore, stories from the Outlands, family business, that's a great skin. Guardian Angel, definitely my fave. Bad to the Bone, London Calling.
Ooh.
What's your favorite skin?
My favorite one is the Predator.
Ooh.
Because I'm a big, huge fan of Predator.
Yeah.
First of all, R.I.P. Carl Weathers. So, because I love the Predator franchise. Even the Predator 2, which was like a little bit corny. Like, it had, what's his name from Lethal Weapon?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just playing the same character, like, oh, I'm too old for this. And I was just like, yeah, you're too old to face the Predator. Why are you facing
Listen,
the Predator?
we do what we can, brother.
Oh, no, trust me. He did his thing, and I'm proud of it. But my favorite one is always the Prey. Like, once the Prey came out, I was just like, yo, Native American chicks are badass.
I was part of the team that did Comanche, so we got to do that. That was one of the first times we ever did any film. ADR was full Comanche first, and then in English. That was powerful.
Wow.
That was powerful. We had a beautiful brother from the Comanche tribe who was teaching us the language, praying for us before we went in, and everybody was from different backgrounds mixed. And a lot of times for Native Americans, you kind of feel like if you didn't grow up in the res, you can't claim it. But it's it's there. And what was beautiful is to be in this circle. I'm getting chills talking about it, and have them pray for us before we started. And then for it to be one of the biggest opening films for Hulu ever.
Yeah,
And
it goes to show you.
Yeah.
And then, like, all the trolls came out like, oh, I can't believe a girl beat up. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger took it off like, stop. The whole purpose of the film is that she knew her nature, that she knew her environment. I mean, come on now.
She did.
Like, if you come to my house and I don't know where my weapons are, that's, I'm a bad homeowner.
But I'm loving not just indigenous representation, but the fact that indigenous cultures around the world have so much to add to the narrative of storytelling. And I'm excited, not just in interactive games, but in film and in books, this expansion. We talk about representation all the time, but the expansion of the narratives that are being told allows us to understand who we are as human beings on planet Earth.
Very true.
Right? And
Very
this
true.
shared experience, the divisiveness of only saying, well, this is your culture. We're not just learning about each other so that we can stay apart. I think with understanding and we can start to see ourselves even in other cultures, like what we have in common instead of just how different we are.
Oh, no, trust me. We have so much in common, but it's just, like you said, we just have to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah.
And speaking of sitting down and talk about it, I feel like I've taken up too much of your time, and I really appreciate this opportunity so much. So, thank you for talking to Kung Fu Eddy, baby. Peace.